sure are proud of Georgia, because the coalition that you described, Stacey, the excitement, commitment, turnout, the insistence on creating coalitions rather than divisions among people of different backgrounds and ethnicities and income brackets and regions. All of that describes a vision of what not just Georgia can be, but what America can be. And you did so under some difficult circumstances, because historically, as we know, it's not as if all the machinery of Georgia government has done everything it can to encourage people to participate in the voting process. And so that kind of movement spirit, combined with great tactics and strategy and hard work and a message about how, we need a politics that works for ordinary people, not for insiders, not for the high and mighty, but for everybody, for the single mom who's working a low-wage job, but is committed to making sure that she's taking care of her kids and that her kids have a better future. For the retirees who are scrimping and scraping and trying to figure out how can they, live lives of dignity and respect that reflects a lifetime of work. For the college student that is worrying about making sure that they can keep up with their tuition payments and have big dreams, but need a little bit of help to get there. Those were the folks that you inspired, that you worked on behalf. And what we saw in November was Georgia doing something that a lot of folks didn't think was possible. And that's because not just of the three folks that I'm sharing this Zoom stage with, but all the unheralded volunteers and workers and grassroots folks who believed. And so my first message is thank you, Georgia, because you inspired us and you point the way for the rest of the country. The second job I have is to say, the problem with doing such a good job is, I guess, folks come back and ask you to do some more. And you are now, once again, the center of our civic universe, because the special election in Georgia is going to determine, ultimately, the course of the Biden presidency and whether Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can deliver legislatively all the commitments they've made. And, since I've got a reverend with me here, let me give some testimony, because I know something about the importance of the U.S. Senate. Some of the people who are watching will recall the early days of my presidency. Others are too young. That's okay. But I could not be prouder of the track record of what we accomplished. The Affordable Care Act, providing millions of people health insurance who didn't have it before, and setting the standard that says everybody should have health insurance, and providing protections for pre-existing conditions. Us passing Wall Street reform so that we wouldn't repeat some of the outrageous behavior that we saw on Wall Street that caused a financial crisis and financial ruin for so many on Main Street. The work we did to save the economy from a Great Depression, to trigger a whole renaissance of green initiatives to help not just save the planet, but create jobs and clean energy across the country. providing broadband lines into rural communities that didn't have it before, so young people could have the same advantages that folks in the cities had. We very proud of the work we did. But even with a big majority in the Senate and the House, it was still a struggle because the way the U.S. Senate is set up, it is possible for those who want to stop progress, those who don't want everybody from having health care, those who don't want to make sure that we have fair wages for our workers, those who aren't interested in protecting the planet from environmental degradation. The Senate is a place where, even with a big majority, it's tough to get legislation through. And if you don't have a majority, if the Senate is controlled by Republicans who are interested in obstruction and gridlock rather than progress and helping people, they can block just about anything. And so, although the first 2 years of my presidency were the most productive legislatively since Lyndon B. Johnson, once Mitch McConnell was controlling that gavel and controlling the agenda in the Senate, we saw a lot of progress halt. And it slowed down our ability to recover. It slowed down growth. It slowed down our ability to get to implement healthcare so that more people had access to affordable care and protections from insurance companies that didn't want to give them coverage. And so the Senate really matters. And one of the frustrations that I had during my presidency was oftentimes, folks who were even my supporters, they'd say, well, you know what? Look, we got Barack there now. We got Michelle, she's first lady. She looks pretty and she's doing great work. And, we trust them. And so we don't have to do anything now. And in fact, then when we got to the midterms, it got even worse because a bunch of our folks stopped voting and we lost the House too.